YouTube. Finally get the film outside. Finally. Alright, today's YouTube video is gonna be, well, what am I gonna call it? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna call it Sex with Older Black Women I Like Hit the Gym. Yeah, it's a new series. So we're gonna do one on older black women, older white women, and we'll do one on the Latina women. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about the video about introverts. Give me enough time. Give me at least 2 days. It ain't that simple to just make a fully fledged video about why introverts have a hard time when it comes to sex and dating with the opposite sex. Because when I do make the video, it could be 25 minutes. It could be a 30-minute video. I gotta talk about the good and the bad of what introverts go through on a consistent daily basis. And you don't want no introvert to come to your channel in the comment section and say, hey bruh, there's some information you left out, or you need to do a part 2 or a part 3 and update the video because the stuff you're talking about is from 15-20 years ago. So yeah, just give me some time. That video might take a day or two. I might drop the video tomorrow. I gotta collect all the information data before I can just release a video like that. Because I've made videos, well, I made one in the past, but it didn't get as many views because I suspect some people felt like there was more I could have elaborated on. And with those type of videos, it gets complicated. You just want to talk about the subject and move on. We'll get to it. Now, if you're a heterosexual man, and this doesn't matter if you're a black man, well, it mostly happens to most black men, most Latino men. Sometimes it happens to white men. And I start off with black men first, because usually this is a complaint that most black men have. And I'm making the video so I don't have to make the video a year from now or 2 years from now, because somebody will come in the comment section with a request and request something like this. So before they request it, I'm going to make the video before it even gets made, because that's just how I am. Now, if you're a real man, doesn't matter if you've been going to the gym for 3 years, 5 years, or past 10 years, you cannot deny the fact that you have, in some form or fashion, have gotten more attention from older black women that are like in their 40s, mid-50s, every now and then their 60s, and as terrifying as it is, in their 70s. And you probably have had that look on your face like, I didn't come to the gym to get hit on by women who have hit the wall at stage 1 or stage 2. I came to the gym with the intentions to do cardio, weight training, and to get bigger, stronger, and make young women from the age of 18 to 29, it's supposed to be from the age of 18 to 27, but I say from the ages of 18 to 29, to find me physically, sexually attractive. Well, I'm here to tell you that's a movie. That only happens in the movies and television shows. Now, what I'm about to tell you might blow your mind. It might even be a surprise to some of you, and to some of you, it's not even a surprise. Some of you might say, duh, that's obvious, Alex. And that is, you're going to get older women paying you far more attention in the gym than younger women. Now, this is where you also find out that the 80% 20 rule actually exists. It actually starts with the gym. I don't care if you go to 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, Gold's Gym, Club Bay, Club Onyx, LA Boxing Gym. I don't care if you go to UFC Gym. Yes, UFC have their own gym. I don't care if you go to the YMCA. It all starts with the gym. This is how you find out about 80% chases 20%. This is how you find out those good, bad stereotypes. They start in the gym. Now, the reason why the video is getting made is because there is some good stuff about older black women. I mean, there's not too much, but there is some good stuff nevertheless. And I know some people are going to look at this video and say, man, don't nobody want to hear this in the video. Well, I got to tell it because Pickup artists and dating coaches don't like to tell you 90% of information that can actually help you in the dating game. And then you go 10, 15, 20 years, extreme cases 25 to 30 years, and by the time you're between the ages of 35 to 40 years of age, you're angry and frustrated because you're just now coming to this conclusion and you're just now receiving this information. And I'm trying to save you the pain and the embarrassment and the humiliation of having to go through 10, 15, 20 years of not knowing that information. Trying to make sure you men of the next generation don't end up like, well, I won't say entirely me, but it's happened to me, but not as much as you think. But I know it's happened to other men. And the stories that they've told me that they couldn't stand. Now, the older black woman is a woman that has hit the wall. Let's make that clear. She has hit the wall, and the reason why she comes to the gym 2 times a week or 3 or even 4 times a week is to do her cardio, is to do her sprint training, to get the arms and the legs strong, try to lose the gut, burn the fat, build some muscle, get slim, get lean, and try to get into athletic shape. Now, I do like older black women from the ages of 35 up to 50. And I will tell you why. Because I see they make the conscious effort. I see they're drinking lots of water. They're drinking apple juice, orange juice, water. They're staying away from the sodas. They're trying to eat their fruits and vegetables. They're trying to eat salad. And they're trying to maintain a certain level of fitness. So they are making the effort. That's the good part. And they're not just coming to the gym just 1 time. They're coming 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And they're doing cardio. They might get on the Stairmaster. They might get on the treadmill. And they might do 30 minutes or an hour. Now, I'm not saying they're going to do it all the time, but they make the effort. And I can at least appreciate the fact that they make the effort to try to get back into athletic shape. Now, have I seen some black women in their 30s and 40s with some killer athletic bodies? Yes, I have. Have I found some women in their 30s and 40s that are black women with athletic shapes, physically, sexually attractive? Yes, I have. Now, that's the good part. The only thing with that is they have hit the wall. So let's make that clear. There's a wall that exists for women even in the gym. It's not a woman bashing video. So I don't want black women coming to my YouTube channel getting angry and upset because I ain't said nothing good about older black women. I just said they eat their fruits and vegetables. They eat salads. They drink lots of water, lots of apple juice and orange juice, and they stay away from the sodas. And they go to the gym 2 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week. And I just said that there have been some cases, there have been some occasions where I found some black women that were older in their late 30s, early 40s, physically, sexually attractive. Have I been hit on by black women in their 30s and their 40s and 50s, and have they found me physically, sexually attractive? Yes, I would say about 65 to maybe 70% of the time they find me physically, sexually attractive. And I would probably say a very good 40 to 45, maybe 50% of the time, I found them physically, sexually attractive. Now, that don't mean I walk up and ask for a phone number and try to take them out to lunch and dinner, because you should know the rules by now. Gotta have a house or an apartment, gotta have a car, can't live with your parents or your grandparents. So that's why you don't see me try as hard. Now, some men from the age of 18 to 30 complain that they gone to the gym for 5 years, or they gone to the gym for 10 years, or they've been in the gym for 12 years, and they don't think the hard work and the dedication doesn't pay off. It does. But I'm about to tell you something that the pickup artists and the dating coaches don't have the guts to tell you in a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour seminar where they might charge $300, $500, $1,000. They might even charge you $3,000. This is information they know, but it would cost you too much money for them to tell you the information. When you first go to a gym like a 24-hour fitness, an LA Fitness, a Planet Fitness, for the most part, the only women that are going to pay you the most attention and are going to stop by and notice your level of fitness are going to be women who just hit the wall. So if you get a woman that's 30, 35 years old, she's going to notice that you're doing cardio and weight training. She's going to know you come to the gym 2 or 3 times a week or 4 or 5 times a week. Might take 6 months, might take a year before she walks over to you and introduce herself. Now, some men might look at that as a bad thing because it's an older woman who's old enough to be their mother and their grandmother, and they want a woman that's 20, 25, or 27. The reason why you won't get too many women that's 20, 25, or 27 years old doing it is because she's already chasing after the guys she deems physically, sexually attractive. Now, that's a bad thing if you're a man and you like young, attractive women. And if you get older women, you might still think it's a bad thing until you look at it from a different perspective. Social skills. Older women will help you with your social skills. Like if you're just terrible when it comes to conversation, they'll immediately will point out to why you're not getting a 20 or 25 or 27-year-old woman talking to you socially. They'll straight out tell you, well, when you go to work or you go to school, listen to how you talk in the gym. Like if you're talking crazy to people in the gym, well, we can imagine what you do at work, what you do at school, what you do when you're on the bus and on the train. We can imagine what you do when you go to the bank and how you talk crazy to people. So that's the first thing they're going to point out. Your social skills, your strengths, and your weaknesses. You may not like it because it's embarrassing and humiliating, but that's one of their good qualities, is pointing out your mistakes and what can you do to fix it. Now you might say, is there a motive involved? That all depends on the person who's telling you about your flaws. Now, if she's just trying to get you to take her out to lunch and dinner or for a cup of coffee, you won't know until you actually self-improve up to 5 levels. You won't know until you actually do that. And then you have times where some older women might say, can I suggest that when you come to the gym, you don't say this, you don't say that to a person because they might get offended. There's that in the gym too. And then there's my favorite one. You look at a woman's behind that's 20, 25, 27 years old, and then they look at you like something wrong with you. But when you get a woman that's 35, 40, 45, or 50 years old, you look at her breast, you look at her butt, and she might smile, and you might go, how is it that I can look at older women in the gym and they're not taking this personal? But when I do it to a girl that's 20, 25, or 27, they take it personal. Because the women that are 20, 25, 27 years old, or even sometimes 29 years old for that matter, they're in their prime. They're in their sexual V market. They're in their prime. They want nothing but the best of the best. Now, every now and then, a girl that's 20, 25, she might let it slide. She might say, okay, he thirsty, he simping. He ain't seen a girl built like this, built like the superheroes from the comic books, so I'll let it slide. You know, they might let it go the first 2 or 3 times. But then once you do it the 4th and the 5th and the 6th time, it's pretty much borderline creepy. Now, I'm not saying there ain't cases where you look at a woman that's 35, 40, 45, or 50 years old, and she gets creeped out, because it actually does happen at the gym. I actually made a YouTube video like about a month ago called Sex Games, Gym Bullies Part 1 and Part 2, where I touched on in both those videos what goes on into the gym with male and females. Now, the reason why I say they have some good qualities is because you'll find out. Now, they'll help you with your social skills. They'll show you the correct and proper way on how to talk to men and women, young and old, black or white. They will also explain to you why, for the most part, you have a hard time in the dating game. And if you play your cards right, and this is a big if, you play your cards right, they might introduce you to their daughter or their granddaughter. They may not necessarily find you physically, sexually attractive. They might say, I have a daughter or a granddaughter that's your age that ain't dating nobody because of the same reasons. Now, I know some guys might say, well, what if their daughter or granddaughter I don't find physically, sexually attractive? Yes, that can actually happen. But you should look on the bright side. It's better to get some attention than to get no attention 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Which is better? Getting some attention from some women, despite the fact she may be 35, 40, 45, 50. I've even been approached by women that were in their 60s that found me physically, sexually attractive. So women do appreciate men who go to the gym 2, 3, 4, or even 5 times a week to get bigger and stronger and faster, that does cardio and weight training. Trust me, women do appreciate it. Now, some of you men might say, well, man, that's older women. Why come the young women don't see me when I work out? Oh, they do. Trust me. I've had some young women, 20, 25, 27 years old, check me out when I be at the gym. What they do is they glance over for about maybe 10 to maybe 20 seconds, and then they go back to working out. They don't want to make it look obvious that they're checking you out. It's just like if you look at a girl's breast or butt, the rule is you're supposed to look for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then that's it. Problem is you try to look at the breast and the butt for about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then a security guard start looking at you like this, and then you got a problem in the gym. So that's where the problem come in. Now, have there been stories where men have had to ask older women out to lunch and dinner for a cup of coffee? Yes. Happens about 70 to 75% of the time on average. Now, the reason why you don't see me do it is because what I just told you. I got to have a house and an apartment. If not a house, an apartment, one or the other, and a car. And then if I had to ask older black women out that was in their 30s or 40s or 50s or even 60s, it would be for 2 reasons. One, for social conversation, to practice my social skills, and then the other just for experience. Now I'm about to hit you with the most obvious on why you're probably getting older women hitting on you in the gym, and you probably may not like it if you're a man that's from the age of 18 to 29 and sometimes 30. That is, your sexual V market starts to go up in your 30s. Remember my YouTube video when I said be careful, do not trust pickup artists and dating coaches when they tell you that when you get between the ages of 35 to 40 years of age, that's when you get all the women you ever want? Remember I told you in that YouTube video that when it's 10, 15, 20 years later, or extreme cases, 25 to 30 years later, you get women at the advanced ages of 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and even 60 years old. You get women that you couldn't get when you was in high school and college. And then those women become available for you. Now, when you go to the gym, as soon as you hit 35, your sexual V market starts to go up. Now, you probably won't notice this until you hit 31, 32, 33. Somewhere in there is where you start to notice you're getting all of this attention from out of nowhere. And sometimes you don't know if that's good attention, bad attention, or a combination of the two. But right when you get around 31, 32, 33, right up in there, that's when your sexual V market starts to come to life. It goes from down to going up as high as it can go. Now, you still may not be able to get the girl that's 20, 25, or 27 years old. You still may not be able to get those women. You may still have a hard time asking those women out to lunch and dinner or for a cup of coffee. But while your sexual V market starts to go up, you're getting approached by women that's in their 30s, like 35, 38, 40, 42, 45, 49, 50, 54, 57, and even possibly 60 to 62. You might get approached by women of those advanced ages, and you might take them out to lunch and dinner or for a cup of coffee on an occasion. And it might be because they saw you at the gym for 6 months or a year or 2 years went by, and you're dating older women. Now, you probably will get laughed and teased and made fun of by women who are 20, 25, and 27 years old who might say, oh, that's cute. Look at that couple. You know, it's an older woman and a younger guy. Oh, that's cute. You might get laughed and made fun of, but it's okay. Because what the older woman knows that the younger woman doesn't know is that your sexual market value as a man is going to go up and up to the point where you're going to attract the super sexually attractive women that only a few men are able to get the attention of. And by the time you get 35 or 40, the next generation of women will already be lined up for you because you would have already accomplished everything. By this point, you already got a house or an apartment, you have a car, you might have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or even better than that, you might have your own company. You might be making anywhere between $20,000 to maybe $50,000 when it's 10, 15, 20 years later, or extreme cases, 25 to 30 years later. Another good thing that's good about older black women, if they're business savvy, if she happens to have her own company, she'll teach you how to generate that type of money that only rich celebrities know how to make. Which, that's good for you because 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to be attracting the attention of women from the age of 18 to 27. And to be nice, from the age of 18 to 29, you're going to be attracting the next generation of young, hot women. It's not like in the movies or in the television shows where you get young women first and then you get old women second. That's the movies and the television shows. In real life, you get the complete opposite. You get older women first and then you get younger women last. So when you hear somebody say you need to get the looks and the money and the status to get young women, that is generally true. But don't be listening to these idiot pickup artists and dating coaches who tell you that when you turn 35 or 40 years old, you're going to be attracting younger women. The only way you're going to be able to get young, attractive women is one or two ways. Either you have looks, money, and status, or, and this is or, it's the right time at the right place with the right circumstances. That's what they don't talk about in their 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour pickup artist seminar. They leave that out intentionally on purpose. And if they do tell that information, they'll charge entirely too much money to tell it to you. And by the time you get 35 or 40 years old, that information would just got told to you, usually by somebody else, not by a pickup artist or a dating coach. Because all these guys just want to do is sell their books, sell their DVDs, and make themselves rich and famous, so they're going to get the women that are from the ages of 18 to 27. And like I said, to be nice, from the ages of 18 to 29. So don't feel bad if you go to a gym and you be like, wow, I always keep getting approached by women in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and as terrifying as it is, their 70s. Because your sexual market value as a man starts to go up. When you get 31, 32, 33, it starts to go up. It ain't until 35 or 38, close to 40, that you start to get some of the younger women's attention. But when that happens, you're not even aware that you're even getting young women's attention. You're too busy getting the house. You're too busy getting the car. You're too busy trying to get a company. You're not even aware that that's happening. The way you get that type of attention is by you focusing your energy on something more important. And like I say, you don't want to end up like those men that it's 10, 15, 20 years later, or extreme cases, 25 to 30 years later, and you just get now told this information. So I didn't want to make this video too long, which it's already long already, but do some guys end up scoring with women that's in their 40s and 50s and 60s? Yes, it actually does happen. Now, here on the West Coast, it only happens only 40% of the time. Now, on the East Coast, it happens some 60 to 65% of the time. And by the time these men get 40, 45, or 50 years old, usually it's hard for them to break the cycle. Because there's an old saying, if you get approached by older women all throughout your whole entire life, Usually that's who you end up keep taking out to lunch and dinner for a cup of coffee. If it happens to you throughout your whole life. If you keep getting approached by plus size women your whole entire life, then you're going to end up taking plus size women out to lunch and dinner for a cup of coffee because it happens your whole entire life. And if you get young, hot, attractive women hitting on you all throughout your whole entire life, that's who you take out to lunch and dinner or for a cup of coffee. So I understand most of your men anger and your frustration when you go to the gym and you've been at the gym for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 12 years, and you're saying to yourself, I'm getting into the best athletic shape I possibly can get. Why is it only women that's in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and every now and then women in their 70s checking me out? Why women that's in their prime are ignoring me? Because the women that's in their prime right now, they're looking at basketball players, football players, bodybuilders, weightlifters, personal trainers. They're looking at guys from the movies and the television shows. And by the time you get 35 or 40 or even 45, the women that you were trying to get but you can't get right now, they'll hit the wall. And when they hit the wall, then they'll be looking at you and then you'll be doing the same exact thing as they do, which you'll reject them because they didn't want you. But what I'm trying to say is you go to the gym, you'll find out. Now, have there been some good experiences with older black women in the gym? Yes, I've had some good experience. Have I ever had any bad experience with older black women in the gym? I can't say not too many of them. Now, if it's a situation where she's arrogant and she thinks she knows more than me, then I would probably say there's maybe 2 times there were probably some bad experiences. But for the most part, I haven't really had too many of those bad experiences. Now, I can say that when I was in my 20s and I was desperate as hell, I'm going to put all my cards on the table, I was desperate, that only in my 20s, when I tried to go after women that was in their 30s, in their 40s, and 50s, only in my 20s, when I tried to go after women who hit the wall at stage 1 and stage 2, I had by far some of the most embarrassing, most humiliating experiences. But that was between the ages of 20 to 25. And going until I got 27, 28, 29, that some of the women in their 30s and 40s started looking at me. But it was my level of fitness. Now that I'm 33, I still get women that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s that look at my level of fitness that find me physically, sexually attractive. Now, I only find some of them that are in athletic shape, and I said some, physically, sexually attractive. So, I told you the good and the bad. Until then, peace.